The WWE Draft changed absolutely nothing.
Adrenaline in my soul, every thought out of control. Do it all again.
The 3-hour format for Monday Night Raw is very unbearable for me, and the crowd last night didn't help whatsoever, but I honestly think the 3-hour format is the #1 reason as to why these shows on Monday always feel the same majority of the time. The supposed game-changing draft for WWE was only last week. They gave us a small hand of fresh talent from NXT, but we only saw 2 NXT call-ups on tonight's show, and those 2 individuals were Indy Hartwell, who was backstage with Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, and Dexter Lumis. The Way is back together, minus Austin Theory, who is on SmackDown. But the other thing worth mentioning in this segment was a tease at Tommaso Ciampa's return, as Johnny Gargano uttered the words, "He's coming back soon." That's going to be something to look forward to. Maybe we see a DIY reunion, and then we get a feud between them and the Undisputed Tag Team Champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. The other new face we saw tonight on Raw was Zoe Stark, who made her main roster debut as she went one-on-one with Nikki Cross. This match came about when Stark was being interviewed backstage, when Nikki Cross just so happened to catch her eye. Stark would then challenge Cross to a match later on in the show, which Zoe Stark would pick up the win with her first match on Raw. I personally loved everything about this right here. Zoe Stark got some TV time and some in-ring time. This is exactly how the NXT call-ups should be introduced onto the main roster. Put them in front of the eyes of the main roster crowd so fans can start to learn more about their character and so the talent can build off of that. The tournament for the second place world title started tonight on Raw, and when I looked at this bracket, one particular match stuck out to me. This Friday on SmackDown, we are getting Edge, Rey Mysterio, and AJ Styles all in the same ring at the same time. That is going to be fun, and you know it's going to be a banger. But that's this Friday. Let's get back to last night on Raw. In the first round, Seth Rollins will take on Damian Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura. They kicked off Monday Night Raw in a big way. And of course, they had a wonderful match, and Seth Rollins would be victor as he defeats both men and would advance to the semifinals in tonight's main event. Now, the man he would go on to face is a familiar foe, and his name is Finn Balor, who won his triple threat match between The Miz and Cody Rhodes. I am one who's thankful that WWE didn't have Cody Rhodes win this match, but instead, which I already knew was going to happen, I'm pretty sure everyone knew was going to happen, Brock Lesnar wouldn't allow Cody Rhodes to win this match. He shut that shit down as soon as he could, and Finn Balor took advantage of the situation going on outside of the ring. Smart man, he hits The Miz with a coup de grace and picks up the victory. But everything on the outside of the ring will continue, and man, when Brock pulled that hoodie off and just stuffed his face in the camera, you could see the bruise below his eye and the gash between his forehead in ultra 4K quality. And if that wasn't enough, the Beast was angry. He was yelling after delivering 2 F5s to Cody Rhodes, one on the floor, and delivered the second one onto the announce table. To summarize everything, Brock would challenge Cody Rhodes for a match at Night of Champions, which Rhodes would accept the challenge later on in a post-match backstage interview, and this adds more fuel to the fire, and now we actually have a reason to continue this feud, unlike when it was first randomly started. So the tournament continues this Friday on SmackDown as 2 more triple threats are set to come, and we will see who faces Seth Rollins at Night of Champions to determine a World Heavyweight Champion. Dana Brooke was dug out of catering to go one-on-one with the SmackDown Women's Champion, who's a part of the Raw roster. You know, I've never been a fan of Dana Brooke. I mean, WWE hasn't really given her a chance to show us her potential. Now, I saw this clip on Twitter. I completely missed it during her actual entrance, but people on Twitter catch everything. So if you ever miss something on these shows, just check Wrestling Twitter. They have you covered. But Dana Brooke basically went to high-five a kid in the crowd, and he didn't even reach out. She literally had to fist bump the kid herself. I don't think he even knew who she was, and that's not Dana's fault because she doesn't get much of any TV time, but seeing that just made me feel bad for her, man. But Rhea Ripley would pick up the easy win in their match, but she wasn't done just yet, as post-match Rhea Ripley would attack Dana Brooke by locking her into a submission, and you won't believe what happened next. The surprise of the night, Natalya comes out to save Dana Brooke. She was taking her time walking down to the ring, but once she finally got there, Natty and Rhea would have a little stare down. And there you go, folks. Natalya is getting her yearly title shot. Oh, happy day Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci would run into the undisputed tag team champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Now, Gunther was not there tonight. The Intercontinental Champion was not there tonight. He will be making his debut on Monday Night Raw next week. But this little interaction here would lead to a match later on in the night, and this was disappointing to see. Not the match. The match was great, but not for a regular episode of Monday Night Raw. This is a pay-per-view caliber rivalry. It shouldn't just be a one-off match. These two teams could do some great work in storytelling together if only WWE would stop making Imperium look like jobbers. Besides Gunther, who has been amazing, Ludwig and Giovanni have been taking L after L after L, and I hate that WWE isn't using them the correct way, because these two guys are just as incredible as Gunther, but yet they just get treated as not being a big deal. I really hope all of that changes, because this was supposed to be a fresh start. We got new tag team champions in Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, but what direction are they going in? Now, I'm not going to indulge too much into this right now, because this is only the first night of the new roster, but it's already looking disappointing, and the draft looks like it was a waste of time. Besides the things I mentioned here, Monday Night Raw was pretty much the same as usual, but SmackDown is this Friday, and I cannot wait to see what they do with their NXT call-ups. I'm hoping Grayson Waller is on this Friday. I hope they let him get his feet wet on the main roster like they did with Zoe Stark last night. And Roman Reigns finally returns. He finally shows up to work, and that means trouble for the Usos in the Bloodline on Friday. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But I want to thank you all for stopping by and granting me your time. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you continue to stop by the channel. And to make sure you do, just hit the subscribe button and the post notification bell so we stay connected. But thank you all once again, and I will see you all in the next video. Be